It's really my privilege today to have Shai Reshef on and on the edge with us. Shai is the founder of University of the People, which has over 150,000 students in its program, free from over 200 countries around the world. So, Shai, welcome to Ed on the Edge.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's a great honor to be here. So thank you.
Let's talk about University of the People. You started this in 2009. You've been an education entrepreneur for a very long time. What inspired you to start University of the People?
So I was in for-profit education for over 20 years. And among other things, I started the first online university in Europe through partnership with University of Liverpool, where I witnessed how online is amazing. With students from all over the world, they can stay home, keep their job, and still get a University of Liverpool degree. Well, saying that, I also realized that most people could not afford it. Well, so after a few years, I sold this university and I came to New York, semi-retired, just to realize that I'm not a retiring type of person and I have to continue. And I didn't want to stop, but I also felt that I'm fortunate, I have enough, it's my turn to give back. And it was clear to me that giving back for me must have been education because you know it, if you educate one person, you can change a life. You educate many, you can change the world. So I look around and I realize that everything that made this University of Liverpool or the name was KIT e-learning, so expensive, was available for free. Open source technology, open educational resources, and the new phenomena where volunteers are willing, professors are willing to teach students for free. And I said, well, that means that all I have to do is to put it all together and create a tuition-free university. So I did. And that's University of the People.
Well, we're going to talk a lot more about University of the People, but I want to back up. So you were the CEO chairman of Kadum, which is one of the most successful tutoring companies in the world. What got you interested in education to begin with? You went to University of Michigan, you studied Chinese politics. What got you into education?
I guess that I did realize from very young age that education is the way to influence the world and to influence people's life. And from when I got the opportunity to go into a test prep business, I jumped right there because I believe that even there, if you have a good preparation for a test, you will do much better. So your chance to be accepted to good university, and it was SAT preparation is much better if you have a proper preparations. And then you can, bring in people who would have not have a chance for higher education. So, I thought I believe in education all my life. So, yeah.
And then you sold Kadum to Kaplan and
I
got to
saw
work
it,
with
okay.
and got to work with Jonathan Crayer from him.
Well, I learned how you can cut a deal very fast and identify good business. He's a great entrepreneur, so that's what I learned from him. And it was actually we met at those days. I met Jonathan Greer, I met Doug Becker, so all the John Katzman, and all these people that were the for-profit high education world. So yeah, it was a great period of time.
Yeah, no, and those were really the pioneers, and you were one of them. So back to University of the People. So one of the key focus, obviously, is making education more accessible, and one of the key elements of making it more accessible is its cost. And so University of the People is free. What other issues do you see for making education accessible? And also, since this is free, how do you pay for everything?
Well, first of all, it's tuition free. It's not fully free. So if students have the money, they pay by each end of course exam or assessment, $140. So you take the course for free, you get to the end of it. If you want to take the exam and you have the money, you pay 140, which means that a full BA would be 5,600. If you don't have the money, we give scholarships. Anyone who comes and says, I can't pay, get scholarships, obviously, as long as we have the money for that. But over half of the students pay nothing. So, we do have revenues. We operate university with over 150,000 students with a budget of $20 million. But it's based on, but The university has a very lean budget, and everything that we do, we try to be as inexpensive as possible. So we operate from few parts in the world, all over the world. We don't have buildings. We offer a few programs. But I think we lean heavily on technology. But the main thing is that we lean on volunteers. I'm a volunteer. The deans are volunteers. All the professors are volunteers. So we have a different structure which enable us to be tuition free.
Talk about how do you measure success for your students? What are the kind of the key things that you look at to say we are accomplishing our mission of really creating opportunities for as many people as we can by giving them high quality education at a very affordable price? And what is the measurement of success for you?
Well, first of all, it's the number of people that we opened the gates for them, the 153,000 students who most of them did not have any other opportunity for higher education. Second are people who graduate. We have, last year, well, it was early this year, we had graduation with 15,000 students. The number of people who graduate, which actually the numbers grow every year. Third is what they do. And we have students who are, working in the best companies in the world, whether it's Amazon, Google, Apple, JP Morgan, etc. I would say two more things. Some of our students don't graduate and they are still a success story. I just met a student who started with us, a computer science, BA in computer science, and after 8 months, he was accepted to IBM. Well, that's a success story. You don't need to complete a degree to be a success. Also, it's the type of students. We have 4,300 women in Afghanistan hiding and studying. So they are not allowed to study in Afghanistan. They hide. By the way, we just realized that they start graduating, and out of the graduates, the women who graduate in Afghanistan, 60% of them work remotely as programmers with international companies. Well, that's a success story, right? That's why we created the university. So there are a lot of measures to success, but I think that the main thing behind everything is to show that higher education can be affordable, accessible with the right quality. The model that we're building, that's the main success that we have.
And you just recently were awarded accreditation through the WSC. Talk about what that process was like for you and what does that mean?
So we were originally accredited by the DAC in 2014, which is a national accreditation, but we had strong pressure by our students to get regional accreditation. And we applied to WASC, and it was a process of actually quite a few years where they asked us to show that we have the right procedures and that our courses are with the right quality and we measure learning outcome and that our financials are strong. So it's everything. And we had actually 3 site visits before we got the accreditation. The last few years, we invested a lot of energy, time, money to get the accreditation. But it is extremely important because that's sign of quality. And if we have the same accreditation as Berkeley and Stanford and UCLA, that means something about our quality and students want it. We know that in some places, such as in Canada, students with national accreditation cannot apply for master level courses because it's not recognized. WASC is recognized there. So it opened more doors to our students in the job market, but in higher education as well.
Yeah, congratulations. That's a big deal. So as you talk about the 150,000 students you have and the different positions that they're getting after they graduate from the University of the People, not even necessarily graduate, what are some of the key subject areas that you're focused on, students are attracted to, and how has that changed, and how do you see that changing going forward?
Well, the history was that when I founded the university, I thought that we should start with medicine or actually nursing and teaching, because these are the most needed degrees around the world. Before I even started, I realized that it's impossible. It's impossible because no state, no country will let teachers go into the classroom if they don't license them and in many cases indoctrinate them. The same goes to nurses. They need practical experience. Well, How would we give them the practical experience? So we decided to start with the 2 degrees that were most in demand worldwide, business administration and computer science, associate and bachelor. Later on, we realized that we actually can teach health science, not nursing, but health science, which is in a way, close to pre-med, but also it was very relevant to a lot of de facto nurses around the world that did not have the academic background. So we moved there. And later on, we were approached by the IB, the International Baccalaureate, to develop together a master level in education for teachers. And we offer that. So that's actually the only 4 degrees that we offer right now. Business administration, computer science, health science, and education. We are now in the process of developing also general studies for the 40 million Americans who have some credit but never completed a degree, to come to them and tell them, well, I guess that we understand that you are stuck. Come to us. We'll take everything that you study and help you complete a degree. So this is in the process of development. But, we offer very few degrees. It's intentional because that keeps us very lean and we only do what is very important and in much need.
So you have partnerships with NYU Abu Dhabi, University of Edinburgh, McGill. How do those partnerships work, and how does that complement kind of the programs that you provide and kind of the mission of University of the People?
Well, I think that there are two reasons. First of all, every university is a different partnership. So NYU, as you mentioned, our students can apply to NYU Abu Dhabi, most of them getting full scholarship to study there. McGill is more for refugees from all over the world. Edinburgh is for mainly a health science student. But the idea behind all the partnership is to have a way for our best students to move up the ladder. We are a good university. We are not Harvard and neither NYU or McGill. And our best students who want to continue there, we want to help them to continue and reach heights that these universities help them reach. So, yeah. That's pretty much the idea behind the partnership. It's for very few students, but it's there.
How do you think about artificial intelligence? How does that change in the way that you deliver education? And how does that change how you think about the types of things that you're teaching?
So we are not jumping all over AI right now for 2 reasons. First of all, because we're a lean university and AI is expensive. But the reason behind it is that we only take things that are proven, have a proven record. We cannot afford being guinea pigs. Simply, we don't have the budget to make mistakes. So we only want to use proven technologies and probably partner with great vendors because of our size to work together with them. So this is one reason. The reason is that AI change constantly, and the fear is that if you adopt what we have right now in a year, you yourself will be obsolete. So that's actually the reasons. However, saying that, I'm a great believer in AI. We do use it. We actually let our students use AI in the class. We encourage them to use AI, but at the same time, ask them what they use, how they use it, what they learn from it. So we try to teach the students to use AI rather than telling them not to use it. But looking at the future, I believe that AI will be in every single thing that we're doing, from recruiting the students, developing the coursework, helping the professors teaching, help us with retention by identifying students at risk and helping them, all the way to helping them find a job. So AI, we are looking around all the time at everything that is out there and evaluating it. And I guess that in the future, near future, we will start adopting part of it.
So Shai, you were the recipient of the Yidan Prize, which is effectively the Nobel Prize for education. And one of the things that you have said is that you think education is a basic human right. How has that philosophy developed, and how are you looking to continue to make that vision a reality? And how has the Yidan Prize been supportive of that, if you will?
So first of all, yes, I believe that education is a basic right and every single person on earth deserves the right for higher education. Not necessarily that everyone can make it. That's okay. But the right to experience it and to try it should be there. The Yidan Prize was obviously was great achievement and a great recognition of my work and of University of the People work. And we are very proud to get it. But also the done money that we got help us in two projects that we're working on. One of them is in Africa. We believe that Africa is the continent where the percentage of students who go to higher education is very small, but it's the fastest growing. And that's where the development world is. And the way to have jump forward is through higher education. So we are now trying to work with a few governments and corporations to offer work relevant education to their population. So this is one thing, working in Africa, and we do it with the Yidan money. And at the same time, we're also developing Spanish for people in Latin America, mainly Venezuelan refugees. Again, they need the right for higher education. We are big believers in education for refugees. We have 19,000 refugees studying with us. I mentioned Afghan women, but independent of the Afghan women, we have 19,000 refugees studying with us. We believe that the way to get out of being a refugee is through education. There are many Venezuelan refugees, and we are planning on developing Spanish to start with them and then to expand it to everyone else.
That's super inspiring and very impressive. Talk about, as you see, okay, so you've been in this journey for 15 years, 150,000 plus students around the world. What do you see? What do you see the next 10 years to look like? What do you hope to achieve with University of People? And what are some of the things that you think you can impact?
Well, obviously the next number that come to mind is million students, but I think that we want to continue to grow, to open the gates even wider. We want to increase the retention and the graduation of our students. We believe that through AI, we can choose more qualified students and help them more to complete their degrees. But I think that looking at the macro picture, I hope that we will be able to work with governments to show the world that higher education can solve the lack of seats that exist in almost every country in Africa, and not only in Africa, but in Africa. I keep talking about Nigeria, where there are over 10 million students who graduate from high school every year. 1.5 million of them take and pass the university entrance exams, meaning qualified for higher education. But there are seats available for 500,000. So by definition, million qualified students will not find themselves in the higher education institution. Well, online is the solution for them. And I hope that our mode to work with African governments to bridge this gap and to show other countries that there is a way to educate every single person in their country with a quality education and have a great leap forward for their countries. So that's the hope.
I just have a couple more questions before we go to the lightning round. First, when you talk about, and you've been around the online learning, education technology world for a very long time. How far have we come in terms of being able to deliver excellent education online? What do you think online can actually do better than in the physical classroom? And where there's some gaps, and do you see those gaps? How do you see closing those gaps?
Well, I think that online is growing, and it's growing with a reason. First of all, there are a lot of people who cannot afford traditional school, and this is a great alternative. Is it as good as traditional school? Probably not. If you can choose between going to a good traditional university or UoPeople, probably you should go to traditional university if you can afford it. If you cannot, and if you are a working adult, if you're a stay-home mom, if you don't have the finances, well, we're a great alternative. So this is one thing. I think that online is getting better and better. The development of technology makes it better as it is right now, but it will improve dramatically going forward. Even now, you see young people in the US, not outside of the US, when we operate in 209 countries, and in many of them, online is still kind of something. They look at it as, what is it? Is it real? But in the US, every single university offers some courses online. And students prefer in many cases to study online. Most students don't prefer it, instead, hybrid, or some courses online and some courses offline. As time goes by and as young people spend more and more and more time online, I think that online is the way to go. I can see, you talked about 10 years. I think that half of the students in the US will study fully online, if not more than that. And the world is going after that.
Yes. So just last question before lightning round. You got so many stories of people where you've changed their life through giving them the opportunity to have access to higher education. What's a story or two that you're most proud of as you think about how you've made a difference with some of your students?
Okay, I'll start with actually the first day, September 2009, the first day when we opened our classes. And I went to Facebook and I saw one of our 178 students at the time go online and say, I'm from Kenya, and today I feel like a rich American student going to an American university. And I said, wow, that's the reason I opened the university. So I guess this is one story. I think that also looking at students who thousands of stories, but because every one of our students has a story. But someone who spent a woman who was in Afghanistan and could not continue her studies, went actually to the airport when the American left, and went in a ditch under the I don't know what was there, in order to get into the airport, and then aboard the airport the plane, just to come to the US, and realized that the US let her in but didn't help her at all, and she couldn't study. Well, until she found us. So now she can study and get her degree. If we're talking about, a woman who was one of our students, she was homeless at the age of 14, homeless with a kid at the age of 16, homeless with two kids, single mom at the age of 18. And then she decided she has no choice but going to school. She went to school. She completed her BA with tens of thousands of dollars and could not find a job. And then she decided, I'm not giving up. And she came to us to do an MBA because she already had a BA. And last year I met her and she said, I'm the American dream. By now, I have my own house, my own vintage car, my own pool. I have made it, and it's because of University of the People. So, these are the stories that you hear and you said, okay, it was worth working so hard.
Way to go. That's awesome. So we're gonna do a lightning round. This is just, I want to get your kind of immediate reaction. No more, one, two, no more than three sentences to some people, places, and things. So you ready? Here we go.
Yep.
Who is your entrepreneurial hero or heroes?
Well, I guess it will surprise many people, but it will be John Sperling from University of Phoenix, who actually changed higher education and opened it to working adults. And then actually he's the father of online learning. He changed the world of higher education. So he's my hero.
I love that answer, and we miss him. Was spectacular for sure. So, what's the favorite class that either you have at the University of the People or just that overall that you've experienced?
I think that I'm most proud is that we started business administration in Arabic. We had tens of thousands of Syrian knocking on our doors when the revolution started, couldn't make it because of the language. We developed a program in Arabic for them. We have 30,000 students in Arabic. I'm extremely proud of doing it.
What is your favorite podcast?
Obviously, yours. Come on. Obviously, that's the best podcast ever.
You know what? You correctly answered the question. Thank you.
Finally, I had one answer correct.
No, all been great. Where is your favorite place you've taken a vacation recently?
I think that my favorite place is to go anywhere and invite our students to meet me in anywhere, any country in the world, and tens or hundreds of them come, and that's like my best vacation ever.
Spoken like a true entrepreneur and founder. What's the most inspirational book, influential book that you've read?
Sapiens, the book of Noah Yuval Harari, A Brief History of Humankind.
So, who's your favorite sports team?
University of Michigan, Wolverine.
There
I
you go.
studied there.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
What, besides the University of the People, and maybe now the University of Michigan, by the way, I'm a big admirer of the University of Michigan as well. What academic institution and or education technology company do you most admire?
I think the three big universities in the US, Southern New Hampshire, Western Governor, and Arizona State universities, because I think they're all trying to serve many, many students, opening the gates and making higher education much more accessible. So these are the institutions I like the most.
Well, thank you so much. I know how busy you are. I know you got incredible things going on. So we appreciate so much that you're with us on Ed on the Edge. We'll see you in a couple of weeks in San Diego at the ASU GSV Summit. We appreciate you speaking there. So thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. It was great. See you soon.